Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. Got a good one for you today. I had to throw that one out for Dan at I allegedly gave me a little shout out the other day. We're gonna be talking about the RV industry. The reason why we're talking about the RV industry, we're gonna go for a cruise, right? I've noticed that RVs are starting to stack up. And I got a story out here I wanted to read to you. I'm right next to the freeway, and that's another point. You know, it's a lot of these RV places, they've got great highway frontage. There's no missing an RV lot normally, right? They're all over the place, and what you'll notice is as I'm walking down this place, you're gonna start to notice that there are sale signs everywhere. But these sale signs weren't always up. They actually popped up a few months back, about 3 or 4 months ago, and there's a lot of them. But what there's also a lot of is inventory. And this lot behind me goes straight back up this hillside. It's massive. It's a massive place. If you want an RV, I'm going to suggest it. Sky River RV out of California. What is it? We're in Paso Robles, California. But I'm going to read this story, and it's a sign of the times. And this is not any fault of this company's. Obviously, this is an industry thing where you see high fuel prices. We see higher RV costs, right, because of demand. We went through a time where RV sales were completely decimated, and the reason why is because there was just straight up no inventory, right? You couldn't go and get an RV anywhere you wanted because there was literally no supply. Everybody had just soaked them up, and then you had supply shortages, which led to less RVs being made, right? So then you saw the used RV market completely boom. Well, this story, and I'm gonna link it below, it's entitled, "The RV Industry Facing Increasing Prices and Slowing Sales." Now, this is a normal trend. We saw this exact same trend back in 2006. And if you were in RV sales, please put it down below back then. Let me know, let everyone know what it was like. And we've seen these times before when we have economic slowdowns. And RV sales really waned for, oh gosh, I think until like 2012, 2011. Because you guys remember, I had a side hustle selling park models for years. And RVs. I sold a lot of these actually. But I was doing all used RVs, right? So it says right here, the rise in inflation and gas prices are beginning to impact RV sales. Retail sales of trailers are reported to be slowing after prices increased 10 to 20%. There's also been a shift with the pandemic. During the pandemic, more families were buying fifth wheel trailers. Parents being back to work and children in classrooms, sales fell off at a record pace. With higher gas prices, the RV industry is now seeing a shift to lightweight trailers. Why? Because of fuel costs. People are figuring out, they're like, hey, I don't want to pay for these high gas, these trips where I'm lugging a heavy trailer. I need a huge Super Duty truck to buy, to tow this thing. And the truck costs a ton of money too, right? So people are starting to downsize. Well, we're seeing that also in the home industry, where as home prices go up, people start to buy smaller homes. Or now, like what, the tiny home industry is absolutely massive, right? Why? Because people can't afford a big house. Same thing with trailers. As a matter of fact, you could see like with this trailer right here, small, lightweight, easy to tow, and cheaper to tow, right? But what are you missing? You're missing all the amenities of having a big one and having a toy hauler and all that kind of stuff. But these are right now what are gonna sell, if anything, over these bigger ones. Matter of fact, I know a buddy of mine just sold a massive fifth wheel toy hauler. I think he sold it used for 70 grand. And the reason why is because he bought it for 90. That is $20,000 haircut, but that's better than what could have been if he waited another year. And that's exactly what he said. If I don't sell this now, I'm afraid of what I'll get down the road. And yes, he was paying payments. So one saving grace for the RV industry is higher prices for hotels and flights, keeping RVs and trailers a viable option for some travelers. Now, there's something to be said about that, right? It's not like I'm telling you that the RV industry is going to completely go down the toilet, right? If you've ever used an RV toilet, you know that's not a pretty thing. My point being is this, they are true. I've talked to matter of fact, I just got off the phone with Chris Taylor from Financial Fitness, and he was telling me, man, I wish I had more cool places to go around his area. He's like, it's so cheap for me to take my RV as opposed to driving somewhere and staying in a hotel because the hotel costs are so much. I had another buddy of mine contact me and was telling me just the other day, he was complaining about how expensive hotels have gotten. And I said, don't worry, those are gonna come down because hotel occupancy rates are dropping because people just don't have the money for vacations. But he said the same thing. He goes, yeah, but compared to my trailer, I can go anywhere and the cost of staying overnight plus fuel is still less right now than staying in a hotel. Now, I'm sure I would love to hear in the comment section what you guys think about that, because I've seen in California, there are some RV slots that literally are like $200 a night. That is astronomical. I would never pay that. I don't care how rich I am. I wouldn't pay it. But then again, at those places, you see $1 million diesel pushers, right? And I think what you're gonna see is, you know, more of these sale signs popping up. And another thing you're gonna see, because if these companies right now are sitting on inventory and they're not flipping it and they're paying interest, high interest usually, on this inventory, and they're not flipping it, you're gonna see these companies going out of business. And will there be an opportunity? There will. But is it the time right now to jump in? Because there's a lot of people that are waiting. Are they, how well are they marking these things down? Like, how big of a sale? What does that sign actually mean, right? Are we at MSRP? Are we still above? I don't think this is the time to be diving in, but do I feel that soon you're going to see much lower prices? And when I say soon, I'm talking about like a year from now? Absolutely. But again, I want to remind people, the one thing that blows me away about this industry is all that matters is the monthly payment. And you'll see on a lot of these trailers, the monthly payment, because that's how they sell. Because most people do not have the money to pay cash. They finance it, right? And you're financing a depreciable item. It's going down in value. Everybody knows that, right? Except for this one rare experience time in history, literally this pandemic, where because of a supply chain shortage and a lack of inventory, we saw the ability to actually sell some used cars, used trailers for what you paid for. But that is an anomaly, and it's not going to get better. It's going to actually get worse. It'll get better for you that are trying to buy something later and wanting to take advantage of sales. But I'm going to be honest with you, right now, I would steer clear from this industry just because there's going to be more deals. I think you're going to see more and more of the inventory stack up like this place, and it's getting full. And just be patient, because I think you're going to have some amazing deals. All right, guys, that being said, sorry the camera's all over the place. I'm not as good as Dan with this thing, this talking and walking stuff. I'm a ninja. They didn't teach me that in ninja school. All right, guys, that being said, the Economic Ninja is out. They did teach me how to snap.